Hello, Ken. How are you this fine evening?
Dan, Dan the man. I'm great. How are you doing tonight?
I am excellent. I heard the great news. You just refied your home. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. We dropped below 3% for our interest rate. We are very, very happy.
And good news is my IQ just dropped below whatever number was before. It went down too. I don't know if that's good, but it also, I'm dropping everywhere, dropping everywhere. So tonight we are talking about the need for speed. And this is normally where I say, Ken, what is this all about?
Top
Let,
Gun.
yeah, you got it. Top Gun 2, we're just waiting for it to come into theaters. It's gotten delayed for over a year. No, what we're talking about here is the need of, I'll say, the modern generation. I don't even know what it's called anymore, Z or whatever comes after that. The modern generation's need for speed, the need to have things quickly, urgently, now. Ken, just give me your thoughts and then I'll just dive deeper into it.
I think there is a correlation, if not a causal relationship, between information flow in the modern age and this, what are we calling it? The M generation, the modern generation. I think there really is a unity between those two things. Information flows at such speed, and I think it, just by its nature, if that's all you've ever been used to, if you grew up with it, if you were raised with it, not only is it not intimidating, it probably feels natural. And so I think there's an expectation and there is a desire to have things change in their lives as quickly as information flows in.
I totally agree. And let's wrap this thing up. No, I think about my own children. So I have the great fortune to have four teenagers all in a row right now: 13, 14, 15, 16, 7th, 8th, ninth, and 10th grade. And so I'm living in with the modern generation, whatever it's called, and I get to experience their great attention span, which lasts tenths of a second. It's the attention span of a goldfish. And with that, they want everything now. And if you're trying to explain something, you got to get to the point, cut to the chase, which I can appreciate. But you almost need to get to the point and then make sure that they're going to listen as you try to dive deeper or explain more or go into it, because they want to move on to the next thing. And I think the reason for their need for speed, it is actually physiological. It is built into this dopamine fix that they get from cell phones and the design, the genius design of cell phones to deliver upon that dopamine hit, right? That they get every time they scroll or swipe. And when they do that, they get uh, something new. But what they've proven is it's not the newness, it's the anticipation that something new is coming, right? So the fact of you swiping or scrolling on, let's say, a phone, uh, you have this forever anticipation because it pretty much never ends. If you were on some sort of social media app, you could be scrolling forever and you're constantly living in that dopamine hit of like, something new, something better, right? And you don't have to wait for the something new or something better. It happens in literally split seconds by just that scroll, right? Like that swipe of the screen or scroll of the screen, you get the new. And then it's like, it kicks in. It's almost like the fulfillment of it. But then how long can you fixate on that or maintain it or focus on it? It's like, oh, you go down rabbit holes, right? And it's one of the great things I love about YouTube, where we post our videos, is the algorithms figure out what you like. The moment you click on one video of a topic, you suddenly see, if you look at what's available, all similar topics. And if you click on it twice, it's like, oh, even better. So these things are built to like create the need and then fulfill the need because it happens so quickly.
So there's something else built into that algorithm, particularly on YouTube, and they state they're not doing it anymore. And this has to do with not just the anticipation, uh, and not just the newness, but the intensity of what's coming. And particularly disturbing areas, like let's say you click on something and it's like you know, a couple of kids brawling or something, a fist fight. And it's like, wow, he likes fights. Okay. So the next video that gets recommended is somebody gets knifed. And the next video that gets recommended is a gunshot. Uh, and so on and so forth. So it was YouTube, if I'm recalling correctly, said they're no longer using that intensify algorithm for things having to do with violence. But it's fascinating to me that that was out there, because as you were saying, going down that rabbit hole, what do you want? You want more of what you just got, but you not only want more of it, and you not only want a variant on it, you want it to be more intense. And it's like reminiscent of how people talk about meth addiction. It's got to be more. It's got to be more intense. It's got to be a longer duration. It can't just be like, have a cocktail. This is a very, very different animal. And I think it taps into those very same things to produce that kind of a response in the, I'm just going to go with M-Gen, modern generation. We coined it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's what it's tapping into. It's the intensity. It's the extremeness of it, and how much more extreme it can get with every click or every swipe.
And I will admit, I have the need for speed. I completely love technology. I love so much of what comes with it. I love these ideas of Uber and Lyft and Airbnb, and the ability to just go, ooh, we're already there, but the future would be, any car you need without even a driver in it, on demand. You want to have one with a bed in it, you can take a nap on your drive, or one with a desk in it so you can sit there and do some work as you drive. It'll just be like a click of a button, or maybe in the future it'll just be a thought that you have, and then boom, it pulls up in front of your house within a minute, and it'll take you where you need to go. Or it's like you're thinking about going somewhere, you're like, it'd be cool to stay in a place like this, and it already exists. It's Airbnb and all those services that you can just look and find a place that somebody already decorated and made perfect just for you, and you can just click a button and you booked it, and you book your travel that way. Obviously everything's working that way. It's on demand. Now scooters are in all these cities, right? It's like, oh, I don't want to walk anymore. I can literally just put my phone up and grab a scooter that's just sitting for me on demand, fulfilling my need for speed, not only physically going faster than walking, but I can get it very quickly just done. And so again, I love it, but it really begs the question that I ask everybody in coaching. And the way I start this premise comes from talking about the way beliefs live in our mind, or way they're stored in our mind. And I give some metaphors for it, but the short version is I say that you can have conflicting beliefs in your mind at the same time. And I give the analogy of the strength of a belief is the number of table legs. So if a belief was a tabletop, how strong is that belief? Well, the number of experiences or references you have for it adds table legs underneath it. So you could have had experiences where more than one thing could be true, and you've seen both be true, but the one that's more true to you will determine the decision you make with it. So the two examples I give are, good things come to those who wait, which says be patient and maybe something even better comes. But the other one is the need for speed. He who hesitates is lost. So that's that pain. You lose. You're a loser. You lose if you hesitate. What does that mean? That comes from the other cool definition of luck. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. You're prepared for an opportunity and you seize the opportunity. But if you hesitate, you might lose to someone more prepared than you, more lucky than you. They'll seize that opportunity faster. So while I can appreciate this need for speed, I think it opens up the question of, is it giving us what we really desire? Or is it really just like a short-term fix, like that dopamine hit? And really, that conflicting belief, or that alternate belief of patience, good things will come to those who wait, may actually be what we ultimately are striving for.
So I think there's a distinction in what you mentioned, like regarding technology and being able to summon whatever kind of car you want with a work desk or whatever in it. That to me is not a need for speed per se. That's a desire to use technology in an ultra efficient way. It's like I got a 2 hour drive ahead of me. I can summon an SUV that's got a built-in workstation. That's incredibly effective. I don't associate that so much with the rabbit's hole examples that we were talking about. That to me occurs as technology being utilized to its highest and best possible degree. And the examples that you gave as you were talking, Dan, about, he who hesitates is lost and good things come to those who wait, but then what opportunity is, I wonder if there's some sort of marriage there, that the patience aspect of it is the preparation. And while we're preparing, while we're building up whatever it is, building up our resume, becoming more skilled at something that we do, becoming more knowledgeable about a particular subject, we also have an awareness of the environment around us and when that moment strikes, so that we can take that stuff that we've been patiently building, patiently growing, and then in that moment operate quickly and seize it, and all of the work that we've done suddenly goes into play because we also were aware of what was happening around us, and we weren't just spending our time in theoretical knowledge. We were aware of the environment around us.
So I agree. And if I think through the way that I coach people and what I try to live by, I would say it is a good marriage between the two, which is if I have something that's worth doing, I want to do it quickly. Like I don't hesitate. Like I literally go, when's a good time? Now is a good time. Let's do it now, right? Obviously, if there's something truly urgent or important that stands in the way, stick with the urgent or important thing. But most things are not urgent or important. So if you had something you're like, that's worth doing, I say get started now. Like I have that need for speed to take quick action and move upon it. But I have to marry that with the patience. I have to marry that with this, it's almost built in or conditioned desire for quick fixes. Like I know it, I coach people on it, but I am a sucker for like some life hack or some, like way of like magic bullet or like a way of like, oh, that's how you beat the system. That's how you like make a lot of money really fast. That's how you build a successful business. So when somebody puts out a book, a course, a seminar, a thing, I'm like the first one to sign up because in my mind, I'm going, that's it. If I do that, I'll get it done faster, right? And so that's that need for speed that's really what I'm attracted to is every time that exciting, shiny object is attracting my need for speed, which is great. I think it's great if I sign up quickly and am willing to invest myself into doing something that will save me time, right? That achieves that need for speed. But I need to marry that with this patience because I do truly believe good things come to those who wait. That will take quick action, but have the long-term perspective. I like that analogy you could draw where you show the direction you're headed and you show like a 1-inch variation of the direction, but you take it out far enough and you're at a whole new destination. You're really far off from where you started. But if you're all about speed, that one shift, you're in a short period of time, you're really almost at the same space, right? So that's why I don't think this need for speed that we've conditioned ourselves to have, or that we just unwillingly have, like signed up for because we're now addicted to this, is really giving us what we want. Because ultimately, we're pretty much exactly where we started because we just keep, like making all these little turns and we keep looking for the next quick fix versus taking a shift, taking action, but letting it build to something great that could be in the future with patience.
A quick practical note in my coaching work, particularly with teams, I noticed that younger team members in that space of like, just tell me what to do, just tell me and I'll go do it, invariably do it wrong the first time, because they don't want to take the time to get the complete download. And in missing that key information, when they step out to do the task, they either get it wrong or they end up having to come back, do the download, take their supervisor's time. It takes far more time in the long run. It is the opposite of the need for speed, or I should say the need for speed actually caused a huge delay and took up other people's time far more than it would have had they just spent an extra 5 minutes getting all the information together. So I think, and Dan, maybe this is another distinction, like you can have a sense of urgency and yet not be in a rush. You can have a sense of urgency around wanting to get something accomplished, but take a breath and recognize that it might be better to get all the information before you launch into it. Or maybe you need to build up a little bit more experience before you step into whatever that next job might be. And that's where I think the work that we do in terms of the coaching can be super useful in giving people some perspective, helping them to take a breath, helping them to just pause, if only for a moment, take a look, do a quick assessment, and then be able to determine if they move forward or if they need to gather more information or if they need to build more skills.
This has taken me forever to get to this point. I just it happened a couple days ago where I was helping somebody assemble, funny enough, a picnic table, and I was realizing that my tendency or my own need for speed would go, let's hurry up, let's go fast. And I won't take the time to read the directions. Like I literally just want to go, oh, I get it, let's go, right? And I'm like rushing through it. Inevitably, this just keeps happening to me. It's the definition of insanity, is if I don't just take the time to read the directions, I inevitably have to take apart something I just assembled because I skipped a step that was vital. And then the whole thing, I'm like, oh crap, and it takes me way longer because I'm trying to go quickly. And I have this recent experience. I won't call out the specific child I'm referring to, but they probably inherited that from me. And in school, instead of just taking the time to use school for what it is, listening and taking notes or asking questions, they want to just be done, right? So they don't do that. But then when they're assigned homework, they're having to teach themselves. So it probably takes them twice as long to have to go learn something you could have just learned by sitting there listening in class and not trying to be like, come on, get to the point, hurry up, or impatience that killed, you know what I mean? In the end, I think the striving for speed can take twice as long as if you just accept it for what it is and go through it in the way that somebody designed it before you, who's probably a lot smarter.
Same experience, but with a Weber barbecue. And I thought, how hard can it be? And there's instructions, but why read them? The print's small. It can't be that important. 2.5 hours in, I don't even know what it looked like, but it wasn't a barbecue. And I ended up calling the service guy and paying him $150 to come out and unassemble it and reassemble it for me because I knew I would just destroy it in the process. So I'm with you 100%. And, cost me a lot of extra money and a lot of extra time. I could have taken a deep breath, read the instructions thoroughly once and gotten it done. But there is that inherent drive that we've got, and it just requires constant monitoring.
So to wrap this up, I would simply say this. If you can relate and you have this need for speed that I think we all have, we have it probably at different levels, right? But you have it at some level and you just got to ask yourself, is it serving you? Is it giving you what you really want? And if it is, great, keep doing it. But don't buy into this definition of insanity that you keep doing it and keep getting the same result, which is not giving you what you want. Whether that means it takes longer, whether that means you get frustrated, or it's like a short-term fix or benefit, whatever that is, recognize whether it's fulfilling your need or not. And if it's not, then maybe try something new and maybe have some patience and maybe you'll get exactly what you want.